I found something really cool. You ready? You ready? Here. Wait. Let's turn off our UI. See that boss? And that rock? Boom, they're gone. They're back. They're gone. They call me David Blaine. Is this your card?
It's orange soda in my mouth.
What the F?
You put it in my mouth.
What the F?
Hey there guys, this is Reckles with WTBGold, and today we're going to be talking about star moss. This past week I spent an hour testing each of 10 different farming routes, and these are the best 4 I could find. Now, before you begin, my recommended setup is a dual gatherer druid with mining and herbalism. They can pick herbs in travel form and have instant cast mounting. Also, you want to be in tank spec so you don't get dazed or dismounted by enemies, but if your class doesn't have a tank spec, you can just use coarse leather barding, which is made by leather workers. Finally, make sure to use the Battle for Azeroth herbalism glove enchant to speed up your casting. The first spot we're going to look at comes from WoW Professions and is just a loop around southern Voldoom. Now, this WoW Professions is a great site for new farmers. It usually doesn't have the best routes, but they're always pretty good. And, it's fast, easy to read. This route, though, is dope. I spent a good amount of time trying to find a more efficient way through these ruins, and I just couldn't. There's also, a lot of little optimizations here. Under this bridge, there's a star moss node and a monolite node. Rather than using the stairs right here, it says to jump off next to them, which doesn't seem like a big deal, except there are 2 zombie men that will aggro you if you use the stairs, just barely aggro you. And then, if the ore is up, you won't be able to remount after you mine it, because you're going to be in combat. And the whole route is just full of cool little stuff like this. Only thing I have to add is that if your class doesn't have a tank spec or you don't have any gear, then avoid the southern part. There's enough enemies down there that, you can die. In 1 hour, I got 462 total herbs and ore and 296 star moss. Now, remember these numbers because this is our benchmark for what the best star moss route is. 462, 296. Zabala in Zuldazar is the next place we're headed. It's the temple in the south, just west of the main city. There's just a ton of star moss here, and a really good amount of ore, too. We're going to do a lap around the perimeter, avoiding all the Mogu we can. At the bottom of the lap, by the ocean, by the sea, there's a bunch of guys that hit pretty hard with ranged attacks. You can see all the nodes down there on your farm HUD if you're just running along the top little ledge, so you can just avoid those guys. But once you get back to your start, go ahead and join a raid group through the pre-made group finder, and you'll just hop over to that realm. All the herbs will respawn, and you'll be able to repeat the lap. In 1 hour, I got 310 star moss, and 767 combined ore and herbs. About the same for our focus herb, but 50% more other stuff. Next, we're headed back to Voldoon, but this time we're going to be on the north side. You may remember from my Riverbud guide I put out recently, where I said that if the density is in a line, you can run it forwards, server hop, and then run it backwards. While that didn't work for Riverbud because of all the waterfalls, it works here just fine. So start off over by the Alliance base, avoid that area if you're Horde, and just run to the now nerfed Sethrak farm on the east with a little juke through the ruins. It's really important to have the glove enchant here because you will be in combat with stone golems. They attack really slowly, so you'll be able to gather in between their auto attacks if you have that enchant. In 1 hour, we got 520 star moss and 860 total herbs and ore. The last route we're going to is Angle Point Wharf in northwest Tiergard Sound, just west of the Riverbud route. There's a stupid amount of star moss here. For Horde, you're going to want to run this clockwise. It's easier to avoid the guards, and that's what the red line is on the map. None of the other hostile enemies here actually attack you other than the Mindbenders, the Brain Slugs, and the Angle Point guards. But you can avoid them if you stick to to the line, and it's pretty easy to stay out of combat. On the south end, though, you will have just infinity dudes hitting you. So I only recommend this route if you're a decently geared tank or like a super duper geared DPS. If you're not, never fear, you can just do the green portion and you'll stay completely out of combat. In 1 hour, I got 924 star moss and 1280 total herbs and ore. More than 3 times as much star moss as our benchmark. Now, this is a smallish route. It's about 5 minutes long, so I do recommend server hopping after each lap. But, like, do you have to use realm hop? No. Here's how good this route is. In between each lap, you could get up and walk away from your computer for 10 minutes, and it would still be better than the WoW Professions Vol'dun spot. Of course, like, immediately after this video goes live, you'll have some competition at any of these farms, but keep this route in mind. This is your new Star Moss farm. So, thank you so much for watching. If you want to support the channel, you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when my next video comes out. Of course, give the video a thumbs up. And, you know, if you have $5 burning a hole in your pocket, you can subscribe to me over on Twitch, where I stream weekdays 6 to 8 Central. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day. Good luck and happy gold making.
Cheez-Its! Cheez-Its! Cheez-Its!